And obviously we've seen, since the Netflix documentary came out, all of the jail calls, the thousands and thousands of text messages, different court documents. Had you seen everything that was available before this, including text between your brother and Mackenzie? And is there anything that's come out recently that you didn't know or you hadn't read that shocked you?
I haven't known anything. So I knew this Netflix movie was coming out, and before that, like, I refrained from my entire family. I have one brother who sits there and reads comments and drives himself crazy, and we always got to tell him stop, you know what I mean? But I have refrained from looking, I won't look at his text messages unless someone points out something really important to me and it's like, hey, Christine, you need to see this. Like, I would not go in and look at my brother's private text messages. It's an invasion of privacy. I would like to know how to get that off the internet. I have not listened to the calls make me sick. So now I hear like bits and clipses doing the interviews. I tried to review some with the podcast, but no, I don't. A lot of it, most of it is all new. I know she's guilty. I sat through the trial. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and I knew her as a person, and we know what happened. Now, the after the fact, all this drama and the spotlight on it and how she acts, that's just showing the world now what a terrible person she is. I already know. But no, I haven't listened to any of the stuff.
Because there are thousands of text messages that show how, she was threatening him previously. That must be really disturbing. You don't want to see them in black and white now.
Yeah, I just wish that I wish I would have known. I wish I would have saw it prior. And, I don't want to look at it because it's like, I can't do anything about it. So what's the point looking at it now? I know she's guilty. The world can see it now. The text messages, her threatening him, that's just showing the entire world. We already know. The judge found her guilty for a reason. She's not getting out of prison for a reason.
And what were your first impressions of her? I know you've spoken about this previously, but just give us an insight into what your first impressions were and whether you thought she was right for your brother.
First time I met her, we were in his backyard, and she came over in a little skimpy top. Didn't show me any attention, any respect. Wouldn't say hi to me, didn't introduce herself. I remember her like flinging her, and this was probably 8 years ago, but I think she was like flinging her body like all over him, and like, you know what I'm saying, it just wasn't very respectful. Instantly did not care for her whatsoever. I thought she was pretty trashy, too trashy for my brother.
And you felt she was disrespectful towards your family at all?
Yeah, just the whole, like, not to everybody. Her not introducing herself, just the way she carried herself. She was just so, you could tell she was self-absorbed and, I don't know, floozy-ish, I guess. You could tell instantly how she was.
And they were together for 4 years, was it, on and off? And obviously they lived together. Was there any point where you tried to intervene and tried to pull your brother away from her, or you just wanted him to make his own decisions?
There are family members that did that. I did not. I was not aware of what had been going on, but there are family members that definitely did that and tried to intervene, and that he confided in.
And was there ever a moment that you realised Mackenzie wasn't just reckless but dangerous?
No, not until after the fact. I did not know that, no.
He didn't ever tell you he was scared of her or scared of anything that she might do?
He confided in other people, just not myself, but I have heard firsthand that, yes, he had.
And do you feel now that there are any warning signs the public still doesn't know about that were there in the beginning?
Just, I guess, like I've always said, like the isolation and her having to be with him all the time, but nothing like, I mean, God, you don't ever think somebody's going to murder your brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Unless she came out with swinging knives, that would be weird. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I wish she would have. That would have been a great sign, and maybe he would have ran faster. But, no, there's really, I don't know if you ever see signs like that in a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? They are very much, they hide these things. So, nope.
And it seems that she's the same person in prison from what we've heard. How has it been to hear how she is behind bars?
I am not surprised whatsoever. They're actually not even a tad bit. I talked to Cheyenne and Kat that were in prison with her, and they had a lot to say. I think Cheyenne dated her, but like I don't even know if it even surprised me. She plans on coming out getting modeling gigs. She's a bully in there. I'm surprised that she's living so lavishly. Actually, I'm not, because everybody's sending her money. We have to stop that. I want to bring awareness to not giving her attention. But I guess she's living lavishly in there and she's a bully. I'm surprised she's got it so good, honestly. I was expecting different.
And obviously, there are still a few people that believe that she's innocent. Do you have people like that reaching out to you, and what do you usually say to them?
Somebody got my phone number this morning and was texting me the most disgusting things. I see it online. I'm not paying it any attention. I think it's the internet. There's a lot of trolls out there. There's a lot of bots, a lot of trolls, a lot of misinformation, a lot of false accusations. You only get pieces of a story. You don't know everything. I'm sure you know that. You're in, you guys see it, but it's like, I don't care, I guess. Sometimes it gets, I'm not looking at comments anymore, put it that way. But we know she's guilty, so it doesn't, and the world knows, and the judge knows, and who matters? They know what happened. It doesn't matter what all these people think online, you know what I mean? But there has been a lot of threats and trolls, just complete weirdos that I picture in a basement alone, around 50 years old, cats, and just they sit behind a keyboard. And you know what I'm saying?
You've had death threats of people that still believe she's innocent?
Yeah, like threats, like I said, I got some pretty nasty text messages this morning. I don't know how my number got leaked, but I'll change it. I don't care. And God knows what happened, and that's all that matters. And the world now, actually.
And what did you think of the Netflix documentary as a whole? A lot of people felt that there was quite a bit missing from there that obviously showed more that she was guilty, certain facts were missing. What did you think about it?
I thought they did a pretty good job, I guess. The production company, Netflix, they were really nice. It was their job to make an entertaining movie. I thought that of course there's going to be misinformation, and of course there's more facts to the story because you only have, what was it, an hour and a half or something. So there's a whole lot. And if you watch my podcast, I try piece by piece to review missing facts and misinformation and things like that. But there's only an hour and a half, and I thought they were pretty fair. I mean, look at their interview. They didn't even have to do anything else. They could have just played her and people would have hated her. Like, look, you look like a psychopath. So.
And I think it was in March 2025 when the 8th District Court of Appeals denied Mackenzie's request for a new trial. Yet she continues to file appeals. Is that quite exhausting for your family that she keeps trying to get a new trial?
Yeah, because I guess it weighs in the back of our minds at all times, and she won't stop the appeals. I know she's not getting out. We know she's guilty, but you never know with, I'm not an attorney, so if there's like some kind of legal technicality or something weird, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Things happen. I've seen things like that on TV, but we know she's guilty, but it weighs in the back of our minds a little bit. I don't think she's ever getting out.
And she said that she doesn't remember anything and even talked about getting a hypnotist to try and remember what happened. Do you believe any of that is true? And what do you think of her comments?
I can go on and on about how that's not true and how it was proven not to be true. There's experts in, physical and mechanical and health experts that testified at trial, and it is not true. Her comments, I think it's just from the day one, and I know they tried to corroborate the story that she did not remember from the second that this happened. Like I've been telling people, she laid in a hospital bed after killing 2 people. She was on Instagram and making TikToks, but her mother sat there and told me and my siblings and my father that she was unconscious for like 4 days. So it was a lie. Why, they were lying and telling us that she was not waking up and, she was unconscious, but like now come to find out she was very much awake and conscious, and they were just trying to corroborate a story. You know what I'm saying? So I know these things, but.
And people that have spoken out who were in prison with her have said that they haven't seen any symptoms of POTS.
Actually, what's funny, and we have to be careful about what's being said, of course, because of appeals and parole and things like that, but One of the girls that she's in prison with actually has told me that she's like pretending to have POTS episodes now. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so
Wow.
that was never a thing. It's not a thing, but I guess sometimes she'll be talking to her and pretend to like go off into space or something. It's a whole act. It's demonic. It's psychotic. This is real life. It's not a story. I can't make this up.
And obviously now we're focusing on your Dom's Law that you've got and you're pushing lawmakers. Tell us about that and how that all came about.
All right, it's Dom and Davion's Law. A few weeks ago, as I'm listening, people are sending me calls and I'm seeing things about how she plans on getting out and getting famous, and all her calls about how she's getting famous. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, as I'm doing my podcast, Big Sister Unhinged, and I'm like, I gotta stop this literally over my dead body. Will I allow her to be the next Gypsy Rose, and get out and become rich and famous? This is what she's always wanted, that's all she cares about from the second forever, And so I was sitting there thinking, and now it's Dom and Davion's Law, but it's just modernizing the Son of Sam's, because it was written in the 70s. It only covers like books, book deals, journals, newspapers, things that were around in the 70s. Now with the digital era, you have social media, you've got GoFundMes, you've got loopholes, you have family members taking in donations and things like that. I want to cut all that out and make it so she can't become, I know people say it's freedom of speech, or it's, your right to be famous, or I don't know, say what you want, but it's not okay to profit off of killing somebody. That's what I want to stop. So we'll be working with lawmakers, and like I said, if there's anybody out there, please email me, thebigsisterunhinged@outlook.com. I need all the help that I can get.
And what has the response been like so far to that from Ohio lawmakers and within the community?
I think the petition already has like 100,000, I haven't checked it, 100,000 signatures. People are going, it's not just Ohio though, the world needs this law. It's all over the place. I just got off the phone with, off an interview with Nancy Grace, and she was like, this is like, it is long due. It does not cover, the Son of Sam's doesn't cover, not all states have it, but it doesn't even cover, like anything that's going on in the world today. People are getting out of prison and they become TikTok famous, and they become YouTubers and things. Like, I'm not knocking them, but you shouldn't be able to profit off of killing somebody, you know what I'm saying, and becoming famous for that.
And like you say, it does seem that seems like she wants to be the next Gypsy Rose, and obviously wanting to get Kim Kardashian involved. What did you think of that? And we've now heard that Kim is not interested.
When I first heard that, like Kim's reply and things, I don't know what I felt. Like, I thought it was a joke, I think they're twisted and live in a fantasy world. But her declining that, I'm never happy about any of this. Everything makes me really, really sad. I felt sadness, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, my brother's not here still. Doesn't make anything better. Kim, I appreciate you not taking on the case, and trying to get my brother's murderer out. She's 100% guilty. So I'm sad all the time.
And how are things going to be for you now with the success of this Netflix documentary? Do you think things are going to calm down a little and you can focus on your own life?
I'm hoping it does calm down. We have to, at some point, our families have to try to start to heal, and that has not happened. Mm-hmm. It's been almost 4 years. I miss my brother every day. I don't want to not, I don't know. I'm okay with hurting. That's just me. But like the world going crazy about it, like my dad doesn't know how to shut off his Facebook. He's older and he's just miserable with these comments. And, some of our family is really, really private, and they've chosen not to speak, and it's not fair to them. I'm tired of having to defend my brother and the family. I'll never stop. Am I tired? Yes, but I'm going to keep going. So I hope it trickles down just the popularity, but after I get this law into place and after people see this foundation, I guess, because I'm using the platform, I'm going to try to spread awareness for domestic violence in teens. I want to go to high schools and talk about red flags and put on trainings and talk about domestic violence and the warning signs. I want to talk about grief, and this will all be with my podcast. There's a lot of things that I want to do, but are we ready for everything to calm down? Yes.
Yeah, because obviously grief privately is one thing, but in the spotlight is a completely different beast. You know, how are you coping personally, and do you have plenty of support?
I have a lot of support. I don't know if I'm coping. I'm doing about, I don't know, 10 interviews a day to keep myself busy. So I'm surrounding myself, keeping myself busy. That's the way I cope, the way I grieve. So when this all dies
And
down,
turning the attention into a good thing.
yes, I have a mission, and that's what I'm on.
A woman on a mission. We love to hear it. I'm sure it'd be incredibly proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. I know.
And how do your family feel about this and you taking on this role?
Some are more private, so they are iffy, but others are so pleased and proud and happy that I've done this and that I'm speaking and sticking up for everybody. But the ones that are more private, they just they haven't, the grief, it's astronomical. We have not even begun to properly grieve. Nobody's processed this. It is so bad. So everybody's feelings are all over the place, but everybody's pretty much it's been a good thing, I guess. Now I have a platform where I can tell the truth and, kind of battle the misinformation and try to make something positive, like the foundation and the petition.
And there are a lot of negative comments coming out about your brother online regarding, how he made his money and things like that. Is there anything you wanted to say in response to that?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it, I don't know, probably 100 times, but my brother comes from a pretty well-off family. He had a lot of resources. There's lots of videos and things and pictures of him with stacks of money and things. He had resources. He started a clothing company. He was ambitious. He was not involved in illegal activities. So to see it is infuriating. He was a child. It's disgusting to watch people try to victim blame him and, and say, oh, well, he was this or he was that. It's just not true. And it's gross for people to talk like that about someone who's not here. That's why I'm doing the podcast.
And people sort of thinking, oh, he deserves to die. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the comments have been absolutely horrendous that we've seen.
My dad got one the other day, and somebody said that he deserved to die, that he was dealing hard drugs or something. And I was that is so, it's not true at all. And my dad is it's so, why are people saying these things? I'm saying the internet runs wild. So things like that, yeah, it's all over. Everything that you see on the internet, guys, most of it is not true at all. So.
And you said, obviously, thank you for giving us the time today.
Thank you, though, for giving me the opportunity. Yeah, thank you.